Hi guys, welcome back or welcome to Dreamworks Switch to Life. And in today's video, to kick off the new year, we're going to be talking about every single upcoming Dreamworks project that we know about as of the time of recording this video. So without further ado, let's dive into 2025. The first movie that Dreamworks is going to come out with is Dogman, which will be releasing in theaters on January 31st, 2025. And unlike a lot of other Dreamworks movies, this will actually be outsourced. It's going to be animated by Jellyfish Pictures, not Dreamworks Animation. Despite that, Dreamworks will still own the rights to this movie. With that in mind, I'm very excited for this movie because the trailer just made it look so funny. Now, I don't think it's going to be the next big thing, but I feel like if this movie is successful, then we could see the return of the Captain Underpants franchise. The next movie on the list is also not being made by Dreamworks. In fact, it has no involvement with Dreamworks whatsoever, aside from being released under their banner. That, of course, is the live-action How to Train Your Dragon remake. Yes, Dreamworks has no involvement with making this whatsoever, but they will still own the rights to it just because. Now, after watching the teaser trailer, I was pretty excited for this movie, but I'm also hesitant because the teaser made it look like it's just a shot-for-shot remake. However, Dean DeBlois, the director, has stated that there's going to be quite a few differences from the original movie, and I really hope that the next trailer showcases a couple of those differences. The movie will be released on June 13th, 2025. Fun fact, this is probably my most anticipated live-action movie of 2025. However, it is not my most anticipated film of 2025. That right goes to The Bad Guys 2, coming to theaters on August 1st, 2025. After watching the trailer, I was really excited for this. This will also be Dreamworks' first mainline movie. See, going forward, Dreamworks is going to be making their movies with outsourced companies. Sometimes they will be completely outsourced, like Dogman, or they'll be mainline movies, which means they'll be co-collaborated with Dreamworks Animation and Sony Pictures Imageworks, with Sony taking care of 20 minutes worth of the film and the rest being covered by Dreamworks Animation. And The Bad Guys 2 is going to be Dreamworks' first mainline movie. After watching the trailer, the plot will basically be about the bad guys trying to go good, only for people to not really view them as good. At the same time, a bad girls gang, made up of a bunch of girls, are going to recruit the bad guys to help them pull off one last job. Honestly, very excited for this movie. Probably my most anticipated film of 2025, but not my most anticipated sequel. That right goes to Shrek 5. Shrek 5 will be released on July 1st, 2026, and as of right now, it is the only film that we know is coming beyond 2025. As of this moment in time, we still don't know what the plot is, but we do know that Mike Myers, Cameron Diaz, and Eddie Murphy will all be playing their respective characters. It's also extremely likely that Antonio Banderas will return as Puss in Boots, and we could also see the return of Kitty Softpaws and Perrito from Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Also, considering the success of both The Wild Robot and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, I feel like it's a safe bet that Shrek 5 will have the same animation style as Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, you know, where it looks like a painting coming to life. Aside from that, we don't know anything else about Shrek 5, so it's time to move to our final film on this list, Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie, which is going to be released in theaters on September 26, 2025. The plot will be about Gabby going to Cat San Francisco with her grandma, only for the dollhouse to be taken by a crazy cat lady named Vera. So now Gabby has to go around the city trying to find the Gabby cats. I'm not really too excited for this movie because it will be Dreamworks' very first time making a live action animation hybrid, which most likely means that it's an outsourced film. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but what is a bad thing is that this will be targeted towards preschoolers. So with that in mind and our movies wrapped up, it's time to move to the TV show side of DreamWorks. The first TV show that we have to talk about is, of course, Gabby's Dollhouse. This show has been renewed to get a whopping runtime of 100 episodes. Currently, there are 10 seasons with 70 episodes, so we have at least 30 more episodes left to go. It's highly likely that we're going to get seasons 11 and maybe even 12 before Gabby's Dollhouse the movie hits theaters. And who knows, maybe we might actually get 3 seasons this year. So, unfortunately, Gabby's Dollhouse is the only show that's actually confirmed for renewal. However, I don't think it's the only show that is getting renewed, because I also believe that Mighty Monster Wheelies will be getting a season 2. And the reason? DreamWorks usually gives us 2 seasons of every single one of their TV shows. So with 1 season wrapped up with a runtime equivalent of 13 episodes, it's highly likely that we'll get another season with a runtime equivalent of 13 episodes. We also have to talk about Jurassic World Chaos Theory. Obviously, based on the season 2 ending, the show is not over. They clearly left the door open for a season 3 to happen, and something tells me that season 3 will 100% come out in 2025. As to when, I would say the earliest would probably be late February or maybe even March. After that, every single TV show on Netflix is considered over. They're canceled or they already reached their final season. So something tells me that we might get some brand new TV shows, including, and this is just speculation, The Bad Guys. The Bad Guys could possibly get a Netflix TV show just because of one key reason. The holiday specials, The Bad Guys in a Very Bad Holiday and Haunted Heist, were marketed as part of a Netflix original series. Why would they call it a series if it's just a couple of holiday specials? I think that they're actually going to give us a Bad Guys TV show. Problem is that with the movie of The Bad Guys 2 coming out in August, they probably delayed the TV show so that they could release it after the movie. Or maybe the TV show doesn't exist and it really is just a couple holiday specials. Me personally, I'm more leaning towards that there is going to be a TV show, but probably not for a while. There will probably also be another DreamWorks TV show coming to Netflix, but as to what, I have no idea. So let's move on to our next streaming service. The only TV show that is still going on both Peacock and Hulu is Fright Crew. And unfortunately, well, Fright Crew ended up finishing its production phase back in March. At this point, we really need a confirmation for season 3 soon, or it's highly likely that the show was quietly canceled behind the scenes. Which is a real shame because based off of the season 2 ending, it's likely that the writers did intend for the show to get a 3rd season. Either way, I'm still going to keep talking about this series because it's really good and I highly recommend that you go watch it. But when March rolls around, if we don't have confirmation for season 3 by then, it's likely that we're not getting a season 3. Speaking of horror-focused TV shows, we also have confirmation that Peacock ordered a live-action Casper the Friendly Ghost series, which is going to be more so focused on horror than the friendly aspect of Casper the Friendly Ghost. And with that in mind, I'm actually pretty excited. As to when we would see this, I do not know. It could be this year, it could be next year, but in my opinion, it has to be soon, because if DreamWorks' only TV show is quietly canceled, then they don't have anything for Peacock. They need a new show stat. And now it's time to talk about The Wild Robot. Considering the deal between Universal and Peacock and Netflix, this movie is supposed to come to Peacock 4 months after its theatrical release, which means that it should be coming to Peacock by the end of January. Problem is that they also just barely announced that this movie is getting a theatrical re-release. That's right, on January 17th, The Wild Robot will be coming back to theaters. Because of that, it's highly likely that the Peacock release for this movie will be delayed until sometime in February or maybe even March. Then, 4 months after it releases on Peacock, it will be released onto Netflix for 10 months before moving back to Peacock. And with that in mind, let's move on to our next streaming service. The only TV show that is still going at Apple TV Plus is Curses. And luckily, Curses just barely released its second season back in October. However, something tells me that we might have to wait a while for season 3, if there is a season 3. With season 1 releasing in October 2023 and season 2 in October 2024, I think you can see where I'm going when I say that season 3 will most likely come out in October 2025. And that's if the show gets renewed for a season 3. But who knows, maybe we can actually take a break with the brand new TV series Berk. See, Berk, we don't know how many seasons this show is going to get, but we do know that it will get at least one season with 13 episodes. As to when it will be released, we don't know. It could be sometime this year or sometime next year. And that's our final TV show, so let's move on to the video game side of things. First off, Roblox. Dreamworks just announced that if you go purchase a Roblox gift card on Amazon, you could actually get a Shrek-themed backpack with Shrek, Gingy, Fiona, Donkey, or maybe even the Golden Shrek. Who knows? And this deal will only last until January 5th, 2025. So be sure to get some Robux or you're gonna miss out. We also have to talk about the Gabby's Dollhouse Roblox game, as that is celebrating a Winter Wonderland theme, which will only last until January 20th, 2025. And finally, the last Roblox game is Kung Fu Panda Hero Showdown. This will be a Battlegrounds-inspired free-to-play game, which unfortunately is currently in its beta testing. This means you can actually go and play it right now, but you have to spend 25 Robux to do it. Yes, that means you have to spend real-life money. The good news is that it's just in beta testing. As soon as the beta testing is over, it will be free to play for everybody. But we also have another Kung Fu Panda video game that you can play right now. That's right, Kung Fu Panda Train to be a Master. This is a game where you pretty much just do a bunch of action poses in front of a camera. Unfortunately, the game is exclusively available on Next Playground, which is a brand new console that I've never even heard of, which means that you have to spend $200 to get the console, and then you gotta spend extra money to play the game. Still, it does look pretty interesting and definitely something if you want to work out. With that in mind, let's move to our final announcement. Universal Epic Universe will be opening on May 22nd, 2025, and with it, the How to Train Your Dragon theme park, the Isle of Berk. And that's all of our announcements. So to recap, we have out right now Kung Fu Panda Train to be a Master. It is a game exclusively available on a console called Next Playgrounds. We also have to talk about some Roblox games like Shrek Swamp Tycoon, where if you spend some Roblox gift cards on Amazon, you can actually get a free virtual Shrek backpack that you can upgrade your avatar with. And this deal will only be available until January 5th, 2025. We also have Gabby's Dollhouse Roblox game, which is celebrating its Winter Wonderland until January 20th, 2025. And then we also have to talk about The Wild Robot, which is going to be re-released in theaters on January 17th, 2025, and then eventually come to Peacock, most likely sometime in February. However, DreamWorks' next movie is going to be Dogman, which will be coming to theaters on January 31st, 2025. Then, as part of Universal Epic Universe, which will open on May 22nd, 2025, we have How to Train Your Dragon: The Isle of Berk. We also have the live-action How to Train Your Dragon remake, which is not made by DreamWorks, but will be released under their banner. It will be released on June 13th, 2025. This will be followed by The Bad Guys 2, which will come to theaters on August 1st, 2025. This will be followed by Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie, which will be released on September 26, 2025. And finally, the last announcement we have is Shrek 5, which will come to theaters on July 1st, 2026. And that's everything from our upcoming DreamWorks projects. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and what are you looking forward to most in 2025? For me, it's probably The Bad Guys 2. And with that in mind, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to support the channel, consider joining my membership program, or you can just do the free option and subscribe. But above all else, I hope that you're staying safe out there, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.
He's not going to ruin my evil plans to destroy all do-gooders.